All right. Thanks for joining me. My name is Jesse. I'm the developer of doc variables, and I'm just going to take a little bit of time here to go through some of the basic features and the syntax of the variables and how you use the variables, just from kind of a getting started perspective. I'll have other videos later on that get into more of the advanced features and kind of like showcase the interface as well. So let's get started. First of all, let's talk about the general syntax. This diagram kind of shows you there's an opening and a closing. Those need to be that's what the app is going to be looking for in your content to know that this is a variable. So it has to be exact. So $, curly bracket or brace, and then all that's actually necessary between that and the final brace is a variable name. Like that will work, just that. But then here's some of the things that can be added to the name to make it better, more advanced. So you can start with an asterisk in front of the name. It won't keep the asterisk as the name, but it symbolizes that it's a required field. So whenever your form is generated in the sidebar, which is what's going to happen, it will, like if somebody tries to apply variables and doesn't fill in that form field, then they will be given an error message, which is awesome when you're sharing templates and you want to make sure people fill in all the right fields. Then there's type. So each of these sections here are separated by 2 colons, but so the first one's the name, and if you need to signify a type, you can put the type in there, and that is again just kind of like configuring the form field that's going to be in the sidebar. So we have the text element, which is the basic one. We have text area, we have date, we have select options box, we have a list box, our list of like check boxes, and we have a whole bunch of other ones too that are even more complex. So we're going to go, like I said, we're going to go through some of those basic ones. But if one of those types requires more configuration or allows for configuration, you can put that into the options area. And then I just added in that, the little tilde, the whoop, that can be used to signify that it's a default value. So if it's in text area, you could put that little whoop, and then it would show the default text in the form field. So that's the basic syntax. This will not be on your final exam, so don't worry. Let's go to, very important. Everything's a little bit different for Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Sheets. So not all of these features are going to be available in every single platform. So I'm going to go through Google Docs, which is definitely the most popular one that people use my add-on in, and then also it's got the fullest set of features too. So there may be some things here that don't work in Slides or don't work in Sheets, but a lot of it does. All right, moving on. So in this case, Google Docs, we can put variables in the title, we can put them in the header, we can put them in the body, and we can put them in the footer, which is awesome. Another note, styling. This is important. If you have a variable, it's a best practice to keep that style all one style and not add different styles like bold and italic in like the middle of a variable. It won't work. It'll set everything to whatever's at kind of the style of the beginning of the variable. Just something to note. I've made that mistake in the past, or like sometimes I won't get all the letters to be the color I want them to be, and I make a mistake. So just keep that in mind. Let's go into some of the basic variable types. So the easiest, the default variable type we'll talk about first here is just the text. And like I said, this is it's just the name of the variable. It'll create a text form field element on the side, and that's like the most basic. Let's do a quick example. So here's a blank doc I set up. I'll just do like a text variable. And then I'm going to refresh this. There it is. First variable. How awesome is that? So there are some things, though, that work with this. Like I said before, if I wanted to do if I want to make this required, I would put a star in front of it. And now we'll check this out. When I refresh this, you see there's a little red asterisk there. And if I don't fill this field in, it tells me that I have to fill that field in. So that's cool. What else could you do? We'll keep it required, which this actually doesn't make any sense why it would be. But if I put in that little tilde, whoop, I can have default value. And then you'll see that gets filled into the text field. There it is. There's default value. What I was saying is like a required field with a default value wouldn't really work because it's always going to have stuff in it. But I guess somebody could delete it and then try to submit. But anyways, so those are the key added features to text area, or not a text area, but a text field. Let's go to the next one. This is transform. So this is actually very similar to the text field. It generates a text field, but it will transform the text on the output. And you can see here there's the uppercase, which is going to be all the letters are uppercase, lowercase, which is going to be all the letters are lowercase, and then capitalized, which will capitalize the first letter of every word. Or maybe it's the first letter of the value. One thing to note here. You cannot have, and I'm going to go back to my document here. If you're going to use transform, you have to use it throughout the entire document. So if I did this and then I did this, that would not work because the system is going to see, oh, this is just a regular text field, and it's going to generate that. And then when it sees this, it's going to be like, I don't know what you're doing here, but I'm not going to use you. So, because it doesn't have the same type. So what you do have to do is anytime you're going to use a transformed variable, make sure you make it the type transform, if that makes sense. If it doesn't, leave me a comment and I will try to reiterate what I just said. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to have our title here, and I'm going to have it all. No, I'm going to make this uppercase. So it's going to be all uppercase. This time I'm going to make it lowercase, and then this time, wait. I'm going to have it start a sentence, which is why I would want it capitalized. So then, oh, okay, so I'm going to refresh here. Exciting. And I'm going to put in something into our transform variable. So we'll just put in variables. Great. Let's just for giggles here, we're going to make the first letter lowercase to show you how it works. And we'll go through this process a little bit more in another video as well. But the basics here are once you filled in your form, you click on the apply buttons, apply variables button at the top, and then it starts the process of applying it. You can put this so that it saves into a new document, but we're just going to do the basics here. We're just going to click start. It's going to apply the variables to the document that we currently have open. And when it's done, you can see how this all works. So again, this might not necessarily, you might not remember exactly what we put in here, but the first one that we had was a title case, of our variable, or not title case, a title with uppercase as our transform variable, and that's what it did. Everything that I put in, it put into uppercase. Same thing here, but lowercase, and then this one was starting a poorly written sentence. Okay, let's move on. What we got next? Okay, another text-ish type is the textarea. It's pretty self-explanatory, but I'll go through it anyways. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm just getting rid of everything. So, long description. And we're going to say text area. And I have to restart it. And this just sets up a larger text area field in the form. You can even kind of adjust it if you want. But it's nice when you have like a longer paragraph that you want to write within a document, and you don't want that smaller field to enter it into. So same thing as the other field. You can put in a default, you can make it required, all that. So that's pretty cool. Moving on. This is the date field. This one's pretty cool. I like this one. I use it a lot. Similar to the transform field, you can put the same name in different places and it will output it into different methods. So if you have like a contract date and you want that date to be throughout the entire document, but in some places you want it to say March 15th, 2023. In other places you want it to just say 3/15/2023. You could do it with this, so that's pretty cool. And it just generates a form field where you select a date on the calendar. I mean, I can go through it if you want me to, but pretty self-explanatory. Let's just move on. Oh, yeah. Before we move on, you could format, like I was saying, you can have different formats throughout the document. This is the formatting options that are there. I'm not going to go through them all. Whenever you generate the field, it has like a little formatting help button that will link you to the documentation so that you can set it up however you want. And then another popular one here is the options dropdown. So it's pretty straightforward as well. I'll do it here. I'll just do the date just so you guys can see it. Seriously. All right, what did I say? Contract date. And I'm going to say I want it MMDD YYY. And then I'm going to do our options variable. Select one, options. And this is just a list of values that are comma separated. You can put quotes around the values too. I think you should. Yeah, I think you have to choose one or the other. Maybe not. But the idea is, we'll just say doc variables add on. Those are our options. We'll press reload. And there's your date. Pretty cool. Select however you want. And there's our drop-down. And so when I go back and process this, it will it'll show those values instead of the variables. That's it. Pretty cool. Moving on. Oh, this is pretty cool. I did this because I was having a lot of drop downs where sometimes I just had a lot of text and I didn't want to see all of that text in the drop down. I just wanted to get an idea of what it was. Trying to think of a real life example. It might be like you have 3 different addresses. You have your home, work, whatever, but instead of seeing the entire address, you just want it to be labeled home or work. So I'll show it to you. Hold on. So we had our options here. You just have to add a hyphen value. So options hyphen values. That just lets it know that it's going to be looking for this syntax, which is name : option. So doc is going to be, a long string of text. Variables. I do think, I can't recall, I do think you have to put quotes around this. There's just so much stuff going on. It's good to know where the strings are starting and stopping. Starting and stopping. And then add, we do adding some more text. And I'm going to just delete this fourth option. And then we reload. And we're going to see the same options, doc variables add, but when we replace it, it's actually going to be replaced with, like, the doc one is going to be replaced with a long string of text variables. Let me turn off this. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. You can set a default. I forgot to mention that about the regular options as well. So if you want, you put that little tilde, and when we reload, variables pre-selected for your convenience. All right, moving on. Oh, actually, not moving on. This is going to be it. So that was our basic fields. We went over the text regular field. We went over the transform field. We went over the textarea field. And we went over the date and option fields. So there you have it. That's the basics. And in the next video, I will probably be going over the interface. And then we'll dig into some more of the more complex variables like files that I almost went to that slide of. So thank you so much for watching. Please like if you could. And if there's anything, requests, anything you guys have, ideas, problems you're having, let me know. Leave a comment below if there's other things you want me to cover. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.